So do you feel that you're still the right voice and expect to continue to be commissioner beyond this CBA? Thank you.
I certainly, that's another inaccurate statement out there that everybody reads and takes clickbait on. Obviously, I've never been a quitter. I'm entering my 40th year, actually, this month.
Cathy Engelbert is not going anywhere. Adam Silver made that crystal clear when he was asked if she'll remain commissioner beyond 2026. He said, "I haven't had those discussions yet, but she has done a fantastic job since she came to the WNBA." He talked about her results, her storied career, and said ownership is very happy with where things stand. That right there tells you everything you need to know about who really won the CBA war. While the players were out there taking shots, while names like Nneka Ogwumike were dropping Caitlin Clark's name in the negotiations, the people who actually signed the checks were never turning on Cathy. They backed her, and now that the CBA is signed and the leverage is gone, she's sitting in the catbird seat with full control. The players got their charter flights, their hotels, their money. But there's one thing they didn't fix. One thing nobody is talking about: the officiating. Where's the article about new referees? Where's the crackdown on flagrant fouls? It's nowhere. And you know who that's going to affect the most? The one person who gets beat on more than anybody else in this league, Caitlin Clark. Let's go back to what Adam Silver actually said, because this is important. He didn't just say she's doing a good job. He said, "The results speak for themselves, and I'm very happy, and I know ownership is very happy with where things stand." That's a public endorsement. That's a statement that says, we're not looking for a new commissioner. Now, remember all those rumors? All those people who were so sure Cathy Engelbert was going to be fired, relieved, removed from duty after the CBA was agreed to? That was never happening. The players went public with their frustrations. They blasted her. They took shots. They demanded accountability. And what did it get them? A CBA that the league was probably going to give them anyway. But what it also did was create a target. Because now, Cathy Engelbert has all the power, and she remembers everything. She remembers who said what. She remembers who called her out. And while the veterans might think they won, the reality is they just gave the commissioner a reason to tighten her grip on the one thing she controls completely: the product on the floor. And that starts with the referees. So let's talk about what's actually going to change. The players demanded professional travel, professional hotels, professional benefits, professional contracts. They got it. But where is the demand for professional referees? Where is the outrage about the inconsistent whistles? Because if you watched last season, you saw it clear as day. If you're Aya Wilson or Brianna Stewart or Paige Buchers, the whistle is tight. You breathe on them, it's a foul. Free throws all day. But if you're Caitlin Clark, the most flagrantly foul player in the league, nothing. She's getting hit, knocked to the floor, targeted game after game. And the referees are swallowing their whistles. We all saw it. The numbers back it up. And now, with the CBA signed and the commissioner fully empowered, what incentive does she have to fix that? None. She doesn't have to answer to the players anymore. She doesn't have to worry about a lockout. She can sit back and let the referees do what they've been doing. And that's a dangerous situation for the one player who brings the most eyes to this league. Now, let's look at what the Atlanta Dream just announced. They're moving 5 games to State Farm Arena. That's the big arena where the Hawks play. They're moving out of that small gym that holds enough people for a backyard cookout. And why are they doing that? Because they know who's coming to town. Twice. Caitlin Clark. They know she is going to sell out that building every single time. She is the biggest show in sports. That's not me hyping her up. That's reality. The Atlanta Dream is banking their revenue on her presence. So here's the question. If Caitlin Clark is the engine that's driving these sellouts, the reason teams are moving to bigger arenas, the reason viewership is an all-time high, why isn't she being protected? Why is the league allowing her to get beat on every single night? The owners are looking at the money. They see the value. They know she's the cash cow. But if Cathy Engelbert decides to let the referees keep doing what they've been doing, that cash cow might not be on the floor when those big games come around. Let me paint a scenario for you. The Atlanta Dream books State Farm Arena. They sell tickets based on the promise that Caitlin Clark is coming town. They're expecting a sellout crowd, massive revenue, all of it. Then the game before that, Caitlin Clark gets pummeled. No call. Flagrant foul. She goes down. She's hurt. Now, she can't play in that big arena game. Now, the tickets aren't selling the same way. The energy is gone. The revenue drops. And who's left holding the bag? The owners. The same owners who just watched Cathy Engelbert get a public endorsement from Adam Silver. Now, do you think those owners are going to sit quietly while their money walks out the door? Or are they going to step in and say, hey, we need to protect our investment? That's the tension right now. The owners want the money. The commissioner wants control. The players want respect. And caught in the middle of all of it is Caitlin Clark, who didn't ask for any of this. She just wanted to play basketball. Remember what Caitlin Clark actually did during all the CBA drama? Nothing. She was playing golf. She was staying out of it. The only thing she said was, y'all need to lock yourselves in a room and get a deal done. We need to play basketball. That's it. That's the extent of her involvement. She didn't bash the commissioner. She didn't demand trades. She didn't complain about her contract. She showed up, she played, she got beat up, and she kept quiet. But somehow, her name kept coming up in the negotiations. Veterans like Nneka Ogwumike were name-dropping her. They were using her visibility, her platform, her everything to push their agenda. And now that the deal is done, where is Caitlin in all this? Still quiet, still just trying to hoop. But the problem is, the people who were talking loud, the ones who took shots at Cathy Engelbert, they might not feel the consequences directly. The consequences are going to fall on the court. And the easiest target on the court is the one who already has the biggest target on her back. That's Caitlin Clark. She's about to face the repercussions of things she didn't even say. Cathy Engelbert remembers everything. Don't think she doesn't. When she sat in that press conference before the negotiations went public, she heard the questions. She heard the emotion. She heard the players talking about her like she was the problem. And she sat there and said, I'm not a quitter. I've never shied away from tough situations. That wasn't just talk. That was a warning. That was her telling everybody, I'm not going anywhere. And when this is over, we're going to handle things my way. Well, now it's over. The CBA is signed. The players got what they wanted on paper. But the day-to-day, the way the game is called, the way the physicality is managed, that's still in her hands. And if she decides to let the referees swallow their whistles, if she decides to let the players police themselves the way they've been doing, there's nobody to stop her. The players have no leverage now. The lockout threat is gone. The public pressure is off. She can run this league exactly how she wants to run it. And if that means the whistle stays quiet when certain players get fouled, that's just the way it's going to be. Let's look ahead because there's important dates coming up. March 27th. Coin toss between Portland and Toronto for the expansion draft order. March 29th. Teams have to submit their protected player lists. April 3rd, the expansion draft. That's when we start seeing who's staying and who's going. That's when the roster shakeups begin. But that's not the story. The story is what's not being announced. There's no talk about referee reforms. There's no talk about a crackdown on flagrant fouls. There's no talk about protecting the stars of this league. And that silence is louder than any announcement could be. It tells you exactly what priorities are. The league got the CBA done. They got the expansion teams lined up. They got the money flowing. But the on-court product, the safety of the players, the consistency of the officiating, that's not on the agenda. And for a league that keeps talking about professionalism, that's a huge problem. You can have all the charter flights and hotel suites in the world, but if the referees aren't protecting the players, none of it matters. Here's what needs to happen. The owners need to step in. They're the ones writing the checks. They're the ones booking the big arenas. They're the ones watching the ratings and the ticket sales. And they need to have a conversation with Cathy Engelbert that goes something like this. We appreciate everything you've done. We support you, but we need to protect our investment. Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw this league has ever seen. She is selling out buildings. She is bringing eyes to every single franchise she visits. We cannot afford to have her getting beat up every night with no whistle. Fix the officiating. Hold the referees accountable. or we're going to have a problem. That's the conversation that needs to happen behind closed doors. Because if it doesn't, we're going to see the same thing we saw last season. Flagrant fouls going uncalled, physicality escalating, stars getting targeted, and eventually somebody's going to get hurt. Not just Caitlin Clark, but the league itself. Because the fans aren't going to keep watching if the best players are sitting on the bench with injuries. So where does that leave us? Cathy Engelbert is the commissioner. She's not going anywhere. She's backed by Adam Silver and the ownership. She won the CBA war. Now she's sitting in complete control of the league. The players got their money, their flights, their hotels. But they didn't fix the refereeing. And the one person who's going to feel that the most is Caitlin Clark. She's the one who gets targeted. She's the one who doesn't get calls. She's the one who's going to have to walk onto the court every night knowing that the whistle might not be there to protect her. The veterans wanted to run the league. They wanted to call the shots. They wanted to dictate terms. And now they're going to get the terms. They're going to get everything they asked for on paper. But the game is going to be called the way the commissioner wants it called. And if that means Caitlin Clark has to pay the price for a war she never started, that's just the way it's going to be. Unless the owners step in. Unless the money talks. Unless somebody reminds this league that the biggest star deserves the biggest protection. We'll see what happens. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you think the officiating is going to change or if it's going to get worse. We're about to find out.